So anyways, he's going to be giving you an update of the current situation and what we see going forward.
Okay, thanks for coming, everybody. We assumed command of this fire at 0800 this morning. We took the fire from an initial extended attack organization that was Unified Command with Kittitas County Fire District 1, Fire District 7, and Kittitas Valley Fire and Rescue down in the Ellensburg Valley, as well as Kittitas County Sheriff's Department and Department of Natural Resources. The fire currently is approximately 20,000 acres. We know there is approximately 60 homes lost, and I very much on approximate. Yesterday, the folks that staffed this fire did a heroic job of making sure they protected life first and getting people out from in front of this fire. I've been in this business for 35 years, and this is certainly one of the significant events of my career. The fire behavior is what I would classify extreme. We're expecting very similar conditions today. We are staffing up. We had a good transition this morning. We have folks out on the ground. We are working to activate National Guard air resources this morning, and we're feeling pretty good that we're going to be able to try to start getting some containment out of this as we progress through the day. So again, this is a unified effort with the local fire districts, county sheriff, emergency management, state and county level. Kittitas County has declared a state of emergency here in Kittitas County. And with that, I'll be willing to answer a few questions.
How many firefighters on the scene now?
You know, I don't have the exact count right now because we're in a transitional mode, but we're looking to staff up at well over 600 firefighters through the day.
How is the wind and weather affecting how the fire's changing right now?
We're in extreme fire conditions right now. We had relative humidity that dropped down in the low teens yesterday. Winds in excess of 30 miles an hour out of the west. We're expecting high temperatures to bump into the high 90s today, and we expect again, a very busy day from a fire activity standpoint. We have some fire behavior analyst specialists on our team that are helping us to analyze that. They're working hand in hand with the National Weather Service, both Seattle and Spokane office.
The high temperatures, how much is that, that adds the difficulty with fighting the fires?
Certainly, just like for any of us that are out in hot weather, hydration is critical. That's what we work with firefighters and first responders out on the ground. It is definitely a problem, but that's what we train to do, so we really work from a safety standpoint to make sure folks are well hydrated.
How are you organizing for folks to either go back out to their homes to see what's going on out there?
You know, at this point in time, that the county sheriff controls the evacuation level in the state of Washington. That's the way it works completely. And currently we have significant parts of the fire footprint and adjacent in a level 3. That's a mandatory evacuation. But as it's safe to do so, we will be working with the community to get people back into their residences.
Do you
expect any more?
Do not have a timeline at this time. Pardon me?
Expect any more evacuations today?
You know, we have throughout the morning, there's been some additional evacuations on the northeast flank of the fire. Our flank of concern would be the north flank or northeast flank of the fire in the vicinity of 97 and north of 97.
We were hearing 0% containment earlier today. How would you describe containment now?
You know, I'll stick with 0% containment at this point in time. Our goal through the day, though, is to up that number a bit.
How many people have been evacuated?
You know, the number that we understand from the County Sheriff's Department and Emergency Management is between 400 and 450. Also, significant number of livestock have also been evacuated. Lots of ranchettes, that sort of thing in this valley in the footprint and adjacent to the fire.
When you say lots, what do you mean by that?
Well, as far as livestock wise, we've heard a number of 1 to 200 horses as an example, and those are being kept at the Kittitas County Fairgrounds.
The 400 to 450, is that homes or people?
People.
National Guard air support, what does that contain?
Basically, we've ordered, working with the governor's office, that contains a state declaration of emergency signed by the governor's office. I was just advised a few minutes ago that is before the governor. She's about to sign that. once she signs that, we could have National Guard aircraft in here by 1400 today.
And that means what? Fire suppression?
It'll actually be heavy helicopters for bucket work. That's what we're looking for.
You said 60 homes. Is that 60 homes or 60 structures?
60 primary residents we believe have been lost at this time, and that's approximate.
How many others affected?
I'm sorry, one at a time.
How many others affected homes?
In the footprint of the fire, we would probably be into the hundreds. I would say 200 to 300, but again, I'm working off of best guess.
So are there additional structures, not homes, that have been completely lost?
Yeah, there's certainly some outbuildings also in the fire footprint adjacent to this. A lot of folks had small parcels anywhere from 5 to 40 acres, had horses, horse barns, that sort of thing, and some of those were lost as well.
Is this on the direction to Ellensburg, and if so, how far from Ellensburg is it?
It's staying pretty north of Ellensburg. The fuel type has kind of changed as we get on the very northeast flank into what we call shrub steppe. That'd be grass and brush. Very rapid rates of spread, but not quite the fire intensity that we deal with in a timber fire where we get crown type runs. So with any luck, we get the resources in the right spot. Hopefully we can take that part out of the equation later today.
Is there any chance of it hitting the forest to the north?
Oh, absolutely. This fire is definitely, when you hear 0% containment, this thing could go any one direction. I mean, it could go south, it could go north. We're very concerned about that. We have aviation assets on the fire right now monitoring that for us.
The focus now is what? Is it still getting people out of homes and making sure homes don't burn, or is it containment?
In a situation like this, when you're talking about a fire of this magnitude, absolutely life safety is number one. Public and firefighter safety. Then we focus in on point protection of improved property as much as possible, and then also we're working perimeter containment. Part of the reason that agencies bring in a team like us gives us some management skills to be able to focus in on containment and try to get this thing so that we can narrow it down and eventually get full containment on it.
So do you expect more evacuations later today then?
We'll be monitoring that through the day.
Any injuries?
At this time, we're not aware of any injuries at all. But again, we've had a lot of folks. We've got night shift folks just coming off the line right now and stuff, but I'm not aware of any injuries.
When you say it's not in the forest, can you elaborate on the fuels that are being put
No,
into the grass?
I don't mean to say that. There is multiple heads on this fire, but we do have about half the fire is in ponderosa pine Doug fir fuel types, so timber. We had short sustained crowning runs in that last night. That would be the part that is in the northwest part of the fire and the very north perimeter before you get to Highway 97. Once it crossed 97, that gets us more into the shrub steppe. And we also have, along adjacent to Highway 10, the Yakima River, we have two spots where it jumped the river late last night. That is also in the timber fuel type, and there is a housing development above that that we're putting a lot of effort into right now to try to make sure we keep the fire out of that development.
Sunlight Waters?
Correct.
We're hearing a construction site is how this fire started. Is that the origin of the fire, the cause of the fire? Do we know anything?
It was started at the bridge site. At this point in time, our investigators are still working on it. We believe it started from the construction site. Specific cause of what part of that happened, I do not have that information.
What's the construction activity there?
They're bridge construction. Yeah, there's bridge replacement actually.
That's the Taylor Bridge?
Correct.
What areas have been evacuated?
At this point, everything, so Sunlight Waters south of the Yakima River, everything in the Highway 10 corridor, 97 corridor, Swiskin Road, Green Canyon Road, Reeser Creek Road, all those areas, and there's several other areas in small developments that we've evacuated adjacent to the footprint.
Are there places throughout for people to go, or is there like one central evacuation?
We actually have two evacuation centers, the community center here in Cle Elum and at Central Washington University on the Ellensburg side.
For people who want to help, the main thing you're saying is what?
Well, first off is we have a very complicated operation in the vicinity of the fire footprint. So number one, please allow the firefighters and first responders to do their jobs. So stay away from the fire area, stay out of the evacuation level, that sort of thing. The way you can help us prevent another fire start. This was the third fire here in Kittitas County yesterday. The good news is we contained very small, the first two of the day. They all happened within about an hour and 30-minute period yesterday. Don't stretch our resources any farther than they already are. So that's most important. Again, we're in very high to extreme fire danger right now. People need to be very cautious.
Where do you hail from, Rex?
I actually live in Selah, Washington, and I'm a fire program manager for the Department of Natural Resources.
Have homeowners who lost their homes been notified?
We have not got official notification to those folks. That would be the responsibility of the county sheriff and emergency management, but we'll be working with them and the Red Cross as we start that part. First off, though, we have to make sure it's safe to get into those and start doing accountability. Generally, that is emergency management. The Red Cross does that, but we support that mission.
And I know it's interagency, but who makes the final call on fighting the fire?
Actually, it's a unified front. One of the things about the state of Washington, everything we do wildland fire is interagency. In this situation, it was a unified command with the 3 fire districts I listed earlier and Department of Natural Resources. As far as ordering an incident management team, that's a unified decision that we make. There is 5 incident management teams in the state of Washington like the one I manage.
But is it firefighting by committee, or is there one person out of that command team who's in charge?
Unified command from a command level with all the participants, one operation. So one person or one group runs the fire operations, which includes all the above, the suppression effort, evacuation, that sort of thing. So there's one person actually calling the shots on the line, if you will.
There's been some talk in town from civilians that don't necessarily understand strategy, and when they see, fire trucks and water trucks out there and the fire burning, and it's still approaching homes, and no one's seemingly doing anything. Can you kind of explain a little bit of what's going on there? We saw it along this morning along Highway 10.
Well, in a lot of cases, folks are, again, tactically assessing the hazard, figuring it out. And like I mentioned earlier, the most important thing is public and firefighter safety. So as staff gets out there and assesses the hazards, make sure it's safe to engage a particular point, protect a home. One of the critical things that people need to take home from an event like this is there was a lot of homes that one-way roads in and out, very undefendable, so it's difficult for us to commit firefighters safely to be able to protect their homes. So it is, there is simply spots, and I can tell you I was out on the ground during the initial attack, involved in the evacuation yesterday, and again, it was very extreme fire behavior, and what we were up to was trying to make sure we were trying to get folks out of the fire front as much as we could.
What time did evacuation start yesterday?
Well, the fire started right about 1300 yesterday, and the direct footprint of the fire, we went to evacuation 3 in the Taylor Road area almost instantaneously, working with County Sheriff. It was a very good unified response right away yesterday afternoon.
And is that Taylor Road, is that the area that was harvested initially?
Well, it's all very much, we're in very drought. Well, we haven't been in drought, but we've had a long, prolonged dry period. We've had 3+ weeks in some of this area with no moisture at all. We've had high temperatures, low humidity, set us up for fuel conditions, which are pretty typical for this area middle part of August.
Do you think anyone will be able to get back in their homes tonight?
I couldn't speculate on that this time.
When's your next press conference?
Pardon me?
Do we have another update today, press conference style?
I'll leave that to our information folks.
Would you just go ahead and say your name and title one more time, please?
I'm Rex Reed. I'm the Incident Commander of Washington Interagency Team Number 2.
Is there any way before that you could maybe use that map to describe how the fire is moving?
Well, the fire actually started in the vicinity of Taylor Road. So let me get Taylor Road here for you, which is right down here where the bridge construction project is. And the fire progressed, just like you see the map, all the way like this. So really, and this is, if you notice, it's the same way the wind blows in the Kittitas Valley. So, and this is pretty typical when we do get major fire events, it runs with the wind. Our biggest concern, where we're putting a lot of effort today, is this northern flank, clear down to Reeser Creek, and also the two spots where it's spotted across the river here, adjacent to the Sunlight Waters development.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Josie, back to you.
Where are you from? Where exactly are you from? Show me again.
So what do you want?
Where were you?
So the fire spread this way. And our concern is the north flank and this Sunlight Waters development right here.
How many people are in the Sunlight Waters development?
You know, I believe there's about 60 homes in there.
Okay, so we're going to move on to our community meeting. We're going to have Jill Beadle
Thank you.
discuss this. She's with the emergency management here. She'll be talking about the
Stand up for
community
everybody.
meeting.
I'll say my name. Jill, Jill Beadle, Beedle, with the Kittitas County Sheriff's Office.
Sorry, can you spell the last name again?
Beedle. We have two town meetings set for tomorrow, Wednesday. The first one is here in Cleellum. It's at the Cleellum-Roslyn High School in the gymnasium at 4 o'clock, open to the public and to the media. The one in Ellensburg will be at Central Washington University at the Student Union Rec Center, which is in the center of campus. That one will be at 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. Both places will be set up for plenty of public and citizens to come. So we invite and hope everybody comes with their questions.
And that first one, I'm sorry, was at the gym here?
It's the gym at the high school.
At the high school,
Yes.
4 p.m.
And is this just for
4
residents
p.m.
that
tomorrow, Wednesday.
have been evacuated?
It's for
or-
anyone with questions or concerns or just want more fire information. Any other questions?
So we have Nancy Jones with the Forest Service. She'd like to talk about some of the burning activity out here, permits, things like that.
Closer? Good morning, Nancy Jones. I'm the Public Information Officer from the Cleellum Ranger Station. We would like to know let folks know that the Cleellum Ranger District is open for recreation. We do, however, have a campfire ban in effect on the Cleellum Ranger District. At this time, no wood or charcoal fires are permitted anywhere on the Ranger District, that is including in the developed campgrounds. Pressurized gas stoves like Coleman stoves and propane barbecues are still permitted. At this time, we are advising people who normally recreate on the Table Mountain area, which is the area north of Ellensburg, they may want to plan differently for the coming weekend, just in case the fire does move that way. But our big campgrounds, Salmon Lasac, Cochise, Wishbush, everything that direction is open, and welcome folks for the weekend. Thank you.
That completes this briefing. We will have another one at 7 o'clock here again. As we get that updated information, we want to make sure that we pass that on to you.
Yes, please.
Not today, probably tomorrow.
Oh, so no, any access at all that we
No,
can get into?
no access, no. It's just too risky right now.
Got it.
So we'll probably start to do escorts tomorrow as operations and safety allows that. We've got to get some resources in here to help escort the media as well. And when we begin to do that, if we could kind of team up so we don't have 20 cars driving in there, kind of help out doing that. Thank you.
I have one quick question.
Yeah. Throw a couple cones out if there's any left.
You guys are doing here today?
I'm Andy Blovich, and we're setting up temporary phone lines. They need 28 extra lines for this fire that they got going on at Lambert Road out that area.
You know what the phone lines are going to be used for?
Communications between the different fire departments and things like that.
And how's it going today?
Getting pretty warm and a little windy. Hopefully the wind will die down, get that fire out. Lost a lot of homes already. It's getting pretty serious.
Sure.